Hi, welcome to the Cedric Live Show. I'm here with Uyanda Mbuli from South Africa.
Yes.
One of South Africa's leading female entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And I would even say personalities. Because you have your own talk show. You're a businesswoman in your own right. I think in 2018, Forbes magazine named you as one of the ladies to watch. Top 5, was it just ladies or just generally?
It was generally people in business to watch, yeah.
So 2018 was good.
2018 was a great year, and I guess that's why in January I'm in Uganda.
So we have to keep watching you in 2019.
I guess it was a good start in 2018.
So tell me a bit about Uganda. You know, we're speaking to Ugandans. You know, social media is big now. I'm sure by the time they follow you on social media, they're going to realize how big you are. Because I followed you on social media, and I couldn't believe that I was like the millionth person to follow you. You know, there's so many people, especially in your Instagram page and your Twitter page and on your talk show. You know, tell me a bit about yourself, you know, where it all started.
I actually started out when I was young. Someone scouted me when I was 16 years old to be a model. So I started out as a model.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough that by age 19, I was a supermodel in my country. And I had started university, and I could see that my mom, who was a single mother, was struggling to put me through university. So I decided to find other ways of making money and put myself through university. So I then entered a beauty pageant called Miss Mpumalanga, which leads to Miss South Africa.
Where are you from in South Africa?
In Mpumalanga. Mpumalanga would be located where the Kruger National Park is.
Okay, that's in the south, the north, the east, the west?
It will be the east, close to Mozambican border and Swaziland border.
Yes.
You know our Deputy President Didi Mabuza, who's deputizing CR right now, he's from Mpumalanga. He used to be the premier of Mpumalanga.
Okay.
So that's the eastern side. It's very hot. It's as hot as Uganda.
Desert, basically.
It really never gets cold.
Yes, so it's beautiful. I mean, you've come in the hot season. It's never really this hot. But anyway, going back to what you're saying, so you put yourself through school.
Yes, so I started through my modeling gigs and my beauty pageantry. I was able to buy myself a car at a very young age, to buy myself an apartment, to put myself through university. But through those gigs, because now I was on the covers of magazines, I got to meet people in government, people in business. So that's how really my life unfolded. So I would be one of the people that people will look at and say, I've always been advantaged, but I was advantaged by the opportunities that I created for myself.
Okay.
It's not like I had a parent or someone backing me up. It's just that, you know, I used my God-given talent. At the time, I felt I had my looks, so I used them to advance in my career. And when I finished my Bachelor of Commerce, I went into, I worked for a company called City Power. City Power is an electricity utility in my country. It focuses on the city of Johannesburg.
Okay.
It gives electricity and so forth.
Right.
So I grew there to become the head of communications.
Oh, really?
Yes. Then I was recruited from there to join the Department of Housing. I worked with a lady called Nomvula Mukonyana. She's one of our big female politicians.
Yes.
She's been a minister for all this time. At the time, she worked for Gauteng Province.
Yes.
And through that, I sat on the board of Tara Hospital, which is a mental hospital in my country and amongst young people. And I understand that Ugandan population is 75% young people.
Yes.
Young people are under a lot of pressure to make it in life.
There's actually, you know, in Uganda, not just that, not that they're young. There is a lot of pressure, especially on, you know, in many of our traditions, mental health is considered, you know, it's shunned upon. You know, if you have a mental health issue, even in local languages, there's not a word for it. They just call you crazy. Yes. You know, and they hide you somewhere, or they discard you, or
they take you to a mental hospital.
Not even that. Sometimes they even just let you go about your business. And usually the result is a disaster. Suicide, murder, all these different things. And these issues are not addressed. So sorry to interrupt you, but I just thought it was important that, you know, mental health is something that we need to pay attention to in Africa, and try and address, you know, as a subject, and not be ashamed that there's some people who can't deal with stressful situations. And they break mentally. And, you know, being broken inside is almost as bad as it might even be worse than being broken physically. You know, you might have a
Indeed.
broken leg. Yeah, you know it's broken. You heal. You do physiotherapy, and the same thing has to be done for people with mental health issues.
So, I mean, I'm glad that you're taking this point forward.
Yes.
Because it's a very important point. I mean, I was maybe around the age of 23 when we started dealing with that, and I've obviously grown much older. And people were not dealing with those issues at that time in a similar fashion that you've described. That
Yes.
here it's still, cliche, as we
Yes.
might call it that way. So we need to deal with mental health issues even now because of the presence of social media, because of the presence of, platforms like Instagram.
Yes.
Instagram is a picture platform where people show you the good side of their lives.
Yes.
When things are bad happening, they don't post it. They only post the good. So young people are playing very much in those spaces. Young people are always on their phones. They're always on YouTube. They're always putting themselves under pressure in the receiving end of that perfection of life.
Yes.
So they look at other people's life, but why so-and-so's life is going so well? Why so-and-so's life is going so well? And it's the sad thing because politicians around the world are also using that platform to mislead young people.
Yes.
And young people think the benchmark of life is up there when it's not.
Right.
It's because everybody's putting a perception. There's a difference between reality and perception.
Yes.
The perception Instagram would give you is that Puffy is doing very well. But Puffy is going through a very terrible time after losing Kim. There's so many things. Jay-Z and Beyonce will never show you their downside. You
Right.
always see them, oh my God, they're winning. But everybody, it's a 360-degree turn. You have the good, you have the bad. You have the challenging times, you have the victorious times. And we need to balance our society so that people reason and think like that. And people set themselves realistic targets.
I think what happens is that social media, of course, it has no rules and regulations. It's not like traditional media where everything used to be vetted. Even the tabloids, we know they're rubbish.
Yeah.
We know when we
Yes.
read the tabloids, it's rubbish.
Yes.
Somebody just made up a story and they're trying to make money out of doing this. Regular, traditional, mainstream media, there are rules and regulations. Not everybody can go and write in the newspaper.
Yes.
They're journalists, they're editors, and so on and so forth. But the problem with social media, as you said, is that someone can pretty much post a pretty picture.
Yes,
A politician,
they can edit it.
a politician, if they're well followed, like some of the politicians in South Africa, some of the politicians here, Malema, Bobby Wine, Bebe Cool. No, Bebe Cool is not a politician, but some of the politicians, they're able to use their platforms to send a message, and these things can go viral.
And also they can make bold statements that are not tested or tried.
Yes.
And those statements become facts
Yes.
when they are not really tested and tried and they are not factual.
Yes.
So they could say something and, the reaction is that everybody runs with that statement
Yes.
as a matter of fact when it's not.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. So, I've been reading up on you. I mean, I've never had the pleasure of being on your show. You have a show in South Africa. What's the show called again?
The current show that's on TV, because I'm a TV producer of different TV shows and
Yes.
I've produced different TV shows
Yes.
in my life. The one that is current is actually my travel TV show, which
Okay.
also brought me to Uganda.
Yes.
So it's based on travel and exposing Africans to the world.
Right.
Over
What's it
here.
called?
Uyanda, it's on.
Uyanda, it's on. You guys need to watch that. I think it's on social media. It's on Instagram or it's not-
Actually, it's a licensed
YouTube.
show. It's on SABC3. SABC3, we do play small clips because we're licensing across the board in Africa.
Yes.
So we're not overexposing the content.
Right.
So we're still launching it in different countries, and we aim.
SABC must have an app somewhere that we can watch
They
the
have
show.
limitations based on our legal contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But they
I'm sure.
do have clips and they can show people what the show is about. And on social media, it's very present. So people can get the rough idea what the show is about.
So really, Uyanda I Can is about travel, about exposing Africa. Africa is a big place, though. It's many countries, 50 plus countries.
Very much so.
I'm sure you have a lot of years and time. You must have many days to cover the whole of Africa. But I think that, I understand the idea, and it's really about exposing Africa to the rest of the world.
Yes.
And merging the two, I guess the West and Africa and the East,
Yes.
East being Asia, whatever it may be. Because there's so many beautiful things in Africa that people never talk about. The narrative that or the CNN view of the world, as they say, is all about bloodshed and all the horrible things that happen in South Africa, in Uganda. You were telling me earlier that you'd heard about a huge military presence in Uganda. And I'm sure when you arrived, you're looking for them and you can't find them.
Yeah, I haven't seen military presence, which is something I need to talk about, because when I was reading up on Uganda and I was preparing for my trip, everyone was telling me I just need to be careful because there's so much military presence on the roads. And since I got here, I haven't seen any military presence, which is something that I think we obviously need to, put out there, which is important. I think for me, my whole journey and my calling is to call everybody to be a global citizen. Correct. As much as I'm a South African, I'm also a Ugandan by association. I understand things in Uganda that I can communicate, and I can be ambassador of Uganda to the people that have never been here.
Yes.
So it's very important, because my show teaches people that have never even traveled, that there are also opportunities to work outside your own country. Like if you look at the medical health side of things, like in the UK, you find a lot of nurses and doctors, they're coming from Africa.
Yes.
If you look at people in sports, some of these people never even had a passport, but they are so talented that they get scouted to be taken out of their own country. Yeah, some of the soccer players. So when people have that global mentality, they start judging the small things. Like, people have, I'm not saying that people do not have a right to everything that they deserve in their own country. Yes. But you need to also stay away from being a victim, to have a victim mentality.
Yes.
If you can't get an opportunity on your right, look on your left, look in front, look behind you.
Find a way.
Find a way. So that's what my show is about, to show people there are other ways of living in this lifetime. There are other worlds. There's another world you need to see. You need to be a global citizen. You need to visit other countries. People must come to South Africa. People must go to other African countries and just explore, so that they can be more global citizens.
I completely agree with you. We'll be right back to discuss more with Uyanda.
My story started in a small township called Ganyamazane in Mpumalanga, close to Nelspruit in South Africa, and it moved to Johannesburg, driven by a big dream. As I achieved my dreams, I thought life would be much easier.
Glamour, fashion, cars, she wants it, she hustles, she gets it. Uyanda, it's on.
Uyanda Mbuli's love for fashion and shoes was well documented by the late award-winning Sunday Times fashion and social columnist Gwen Gill, who crowned Uyanda South Africa's red carpet queen in 2005 for having the most refreshing style. But after Gwen's unfortunate passing in 2011, Sunday World soon dethroned Uyanda and called her a fraud.
I was really, really disappointed. I had to produce a receipt. I had Lauren of 2A write to Christian Louboutin to write an email of authenticity that this shoe was indeed bought in Dubai in 2011 at a Christian Louboutin boutique.
From that story on, everything that she wore was nitpicked. Where was it from? Are you sure? Didn't she just make that up? But looking at the shoe 7 years later, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't still be around if it wasn't the real thing.
The same spikes that Sunday World said they were never made. Now everybody was wearing them. People were getting best dressed in the same spike. The Sunday World said there was never a spike collection.
It's funny how a year later, all the local celebs started rocking that sort of or similar style heel. And all of a sudden it's fine, but Uyanda, who was a year ahead of everyone's taste, caused so much controversy.
I was writing the column with Gwen Gill, who was like the social doyen of South Africa. And yeah, she was definitely one of those it girls on the scene around that time. And she also knew how to work the camera. I think this was a whole different time in South Africa. We were only really starting to get used to social media. We only really started understanding what it is to get attention. And Uyanda had that in the bag. she became really famous. She even had a blog, I think, Uyanda World or something. She was working it, and you need those kind of people on the scene. You need people who understand how the media works and knows how to get attention. We actually called her like red carpet queen. Yeah, she was wearing this incredible red dress, figure hugging, long. I think it was the opening of The Lion King.
As the fake news and the negative press got worse and worse week after week, all I could remember was that girl that grew up in a dusty township with a dream of walking the global stages. Being here in Dubai, in Jumeirah Beach, I'm finally realizing that dream that I've always had of moving from city to city and turning myself into a global citizen is finally here. Those naysayers encouraged me. They made me uncomfortable in my own country. And it got to a point where I realized if this dream is so powerful and is forcing me from within, then I can live it anywhere in the world.
What are you up to? How's everything going?
Babe, I'm coming to New York.
No way.
So, who was the guy?
Eric.
He knows you're married.
Eric's American. He knows what's going on.
No, but he's gonna judge me and think I'm also rolling like that.
Hello?
No, not
Rosie,
with
can you
Eric.
tell her
Hands off
I'm
Eric,
allowed-
hands off Eric, hands off Eric.
Uyanda, first of all, hold on. Today you have been like on my case.
Lucy wants everything.
You know what? I'm leaving and I'm taking the flowers that Eric kissed with his nose. Oh my God.
Waking up this morning, I thought me and Lucy would make peace because last night was so hectic.
I was so hurt. Hello.
Girl, are you really leaving? I just got your note.
Yes, I am. I really have to go. I don't feel good. Things aren't just working out the way I thought they would. And I just have to leave right now. We'll just talk when you leave. When I get back, I'll give you a call. She was a little cold. It's not like she really cared and wanted me to stay, because if she did, she would have said something. I mean, come by me. Come to my room.
Okay, if that's the case, then travel safely.
Okay. It's like she doesn't even care. Not even an apology. Like, oh, okay, bye.
I don't think she's gonna leave though. She can't leave. She can't leave. She can't leave.
It's like she doesn't even care. She calls me like everything is normal. Oh, you're leaving. Seriously. Seriously. Let me leave and let's see how she's gonna feel.
So I'm gonna be here, enjoy Miami, and not think about all the drama that I left in New York, and just be a Miami girl and enjoy Miami. Which car did you come in? We go to our hotel, then to your hotel. Yeah. You?
I have my sunglasses for concert.
For concert.
You gotta be like this, Nick.
Yeah.
No, we know
That's
you're gonna
the
be
Six and Chills
performing.
one.
We know you're gonna be performing. You're ready.
I envision
You
it.
might as well just go on stage.
You know how you're on the ground and then you just like, you know how she gets that beat and then it's just like one side and then you go like,
and then that group is also
you understand? Oh, it's coming out. I ain't even. I was at Makoto yesterday and it was just, the lady was like, so it was like, your friends are out, so I ain't surprised.
Nikki's boobs have been greeting us all day. Like, I'm getting confused here. Are you trying to hit on Roger or Eric? Can you decide which one you want?
So we're gonna find the mood.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I am. And my rose.
When this kid came running to us calling Amber Rose, I was still wondering which part of me looks like Amber. And then I realized, oh my God, this kid is talking to DeAndre. And DeAndre is going along with it. I was like, oh, come on, stop kidding.
Amber Rose, worth it.
You're Amber Rose, baby. Well, you better recognize that you're Amber Rose.
Amber girl.
Like, hello, are you Amber Rose? I'm like, I can't stop kidding. Eric has got these two dogs that I love so much, Bijou and Ruby. So when I have an opportunity to go jog by the beach, Eric would always bring Bijou and Ruby. I love those dogs.
Breaking the rule.
Eric wants me to get arrested in Miami. Oh, no, honey, look, I don't want to be arrested in the United States. South Africa is where my heart is at. I need to go back home. Oh, no.
Glamour, fashion, cars. She wants it, she hustles, she gets it. Uyanda, it's on.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. We're here with Uyanda. So Uyanda, we're talking about the different things you've done in your life, and one of them is you've produced Uyanda I Can, which is a talk show on SABC.
I like the fact that you keep calling it that. It's Uyanda, It's On is the travel show.
Uyanda It's On.
You say Uyanda I Can. And I left you the last time.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Uyanda It's On. Okay, we're not going to make that mistake again. But we'll keep it. Don't cut that. Because she had to correct me. So, I saw a small clip, and you were doing a motivational speech to young girls, and I liked it because you said to them, let's not think about just going to Johannesburg. Let's think about going to Paris. Let's think about going to London. Let's think about going to LA. What did you mean by all this? What did you mean by this?
Look, the whole aspect of success in life is not just to capture a small amount of people.
Yes.
When there's over 1 billion of people all over the world.
Right.
If you are a musician and you want to sell music, you have to sell to your own countrymen so they can accept you.
Yes.
Then you need to take your talent to the world.
Yes.
I can use examples. I mean, Trevor Noah in my country, he knew he's a comedian. He sold comedy to South Africa. Then he went to sell comedy to the world. So it's very important. So even when you look at the heart transplant doctors, most of them, they come from South Africa. They started in South Africa. Tygerberg Hospital in Cape Town is still one of the biggest heart transplants. Actually, the first heart transplant took place in Groote Hospital in Cape Town.
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
It's okay.
Is that in Afrikaans?
Yeah, but it's
Say that
there
again?
in my country, Groote.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.
So all I'm saying is you can be so good in what you do that the world needs your services.
Yes.
So I needed to inspire them that if you want to be a doctor, you have to be the best doctor in the world.
Yeah.
You cannot make a storm in a teacup and say it's a storm when the real storm is out there in the world.
Understood.
So even the people that have achieved things in their own countries, they cannot be saying they are big achievers in a small town, which is one country. Even the Americans, that's why they come to South Africa. They know they need the world. Beyonce wouldn't be Beyonce if she didn't capture the whole world. So we need to really aim at the world instead of only aiming at our own country. And that's what the seed I was planting in those girls' mind, so that they understand that the world is small. Because indeed the world is small. When you travel it, you realize you appreciate your country more, but also more than anything, you realize that we all people.
Yes.
Subjected under the same principles of character. We all need to be kind. We all need to respect. We're all the same. So the mere fact that I sound different to how you sound in Uganda, because I also realize that I speak different, even when I'm in the US. When I'm walking in the streets, people might not know it, but when I open my mouth, they're like, where are you from?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, but the point is we're all human beings. We all are inspired by similar things. We are motivated by similar things. And we need to understand how small the world is.
So what's your impression of Uganda? I know you've traveled the world, you haven't been here long, but what is it when you go back? Because I know you go back very soon. And you said to me that you would like to come back. What is it about Uganda that wants you to come back?
I haven't seen the whole Uganda, but I want to get a place in Uganda. Really, I love it.
Yeah, like a place, like a home?
I want a home in Uganda. I love
But
Uganda.
now that you're a successful woman, I mean, you see all these houses here that you can buy, some of them. They're just, beautiful houses,
Yeah, so I have to look around and maybe build something that talks to me. Because I saw you have a lot of construction companies.
You're even going to build?
Yeah, I need to buy land.
Oh.
And as black people, sorry, like I am so
yes,
pro-black,
I'm black too.
everybody,
it's okay. No
please
offense
forgive
taken.
me,
Yes.
but I'm all about black excellence and I will not apologize.
Yes.
We need to buy land when we can, I worry about how we raise our children, that the first description of success is buying a car. A car is a debt.
Yes.
The first description of success after you have graduated with your first salary should aim to buy land or buy property.
Buy a house, yes.
Yes, you can still use public transportation. Don't aim to buy something that will take you backwards because a car is just a debt.
Buy the vision, not the television.
It depreciates. It doesn't have any significant value. People will just respect you for nothing. And therefore, that's why we then end up with the mental health issues because people are leaving for the
materialistic things.
No. The success that doesn't exist, the praises that people think, oh, you've done well and your grannies are celebrating you, killing a cow and whatever. For a car, that's a debt. That's the wrong mentality. So we need to change that when we talk black excellence. The most excellent thing for blacks to have is property and land. So the first thing you must buy land, even if you don't build that land, just own the land.
Keep the land.
Keep the land, and you mustn't lose property. So property must never be sold, land must never be sold. So of course, land will be a great investment for me here.
So you're going to come to Uganda, you're going to build a house that speaks to you.
Yes.
And you're going to stay here. And what are you going to do while you're here in Uganda?
I'll stay in my house.
No, but no. That's not black. That's not black excellence.
Well, when I'm in Uganda, I'll just stay. I'm such a homebody. Though I travel a lot,
yes,
I'm not like out there as much. Like people think I might be out there, but I'm not. Like even when they send me invites to events, I really attend. So when I'm coming, it's a big deal because I really hardly go accept
yeah, so
invites.
we'll be happy to have you. I'm sure there are a lot of places in Uganda you haven't seen. Uganda is a beautiful country.
I want to see them all. I can't wait.
We have to get you to the next time you come to go see the gorillas. The gorillas are only based in either Rwanda, Uganda, and the DRC. Only place in the world that you can see gorillas.
Nice.
We've got lots of national parks to the north, to the east, to the south, to the west. We've got beautiful places in Uganda, and of course. We're always welcoming. Ugandans are very welcoming people.
I love the food.
No, food.
Do you know what I ate for breakfast? I ate liver with like the banana,
Which one?
Potato.
Matoke, yes.
I loved it.
You know Uganda has 7 different types of banana.
Really?
Yes.
I can't
taste
name
all of them. I know the small one. What's the small one?
I think we are controversial now. Oh my God, I need a drink.
We have the small one, we have bogoya, we have matoke. What else do we have? Which one? Indizi is sweet banana. Sweet banana. And then there's the red one. That's the red one. Yes. And there's 7 different types of bananas. So this morning I hope you ate matoke.
Well, I ate the yellow one.
Yes.
It's very nice.
Was it warm? You cooked it warm?
It was warm and it had like a sauce, which is like a gravy cooked with the liver for breakfast. It was so amazing. Like I'm still craving it. So nice.
So tell me, food. Would you be a feminist?
Look, I think for me, feminism is for me.
Yes.
I'm black and I'm pro-black. I want to see black excellence.
Yes.
And I'm not going to divide black people to say
women or men.
I feel we still going through the same struggles as black people. Black people need to make it around the world. Like in my own country, yes, our democracy is 20 years old, but you still have a lot of non-black people that are owning the economy. So yes, I'll be a feminist when it comes to feminism issues, but mainly
we need to have the same conversation around Black economic empowerment and Black excellence, which includes both males and females.
Yes.
But when it comes to the harassment of young people or women, I do not support that. So I'll always stand for that.
Yes.
But I feel that we are so far from winning that the categorization that this female feminism, now we must concentrate on Black females, Asian females, and other cultures, no. If it's about the advancement of Black women, the advancement of Black men, for me, that will always supersede what I see as a value principle and important in Africa.
Okay, so tell me, the situation in South Africa, you've had a rocky few months, I suppose, with President Zuma resigning and President Ramaphosa coming in, and the election is in March, April?
The election is coming, yes, soon.
March, April. So how is South Africa now? Is the economy, is it stabilizing? Because there are a lot of complaints, about the economy sort of diving. I don't know. I'm not going to get into detail about rates and inflation rates and things like that. How is it now? Is it picking up again? Is it stabilizing?
I love my country, and we have our own challenges in my country.
Yes.
Nothing is perfect.
Yes.
I could sit here and criticize them, but
Yes.
I know they are trying. They are the
Yes.
government in leadership. And every government that is in leadership, it needs to be supported instead of criticized.
Yes.
We have developed a mentality where we criticize government so much publicly that we're not even giving them room to support them, so that they can do the things that they've done right,
Yes.
to master those things and do them even better.
Yes.
So look, we do have our teeth in challenges, and we're still going to have it with the ANC, what we expect and whatever. But at the end of the day, they are the government that is in charge. They're the government chosen by the people.
Yes.
And we need to be less negative and be more positive in terms of supporting them. I have a long list of things that I'm not happy with them for,
Yes.
but I also have an amazing admiration
So
for
many
how
things
they've
that have-
changed our constitution, to how they've advanced the cause of the liberation movement around the human rights issues.
Yes.
When it comes to the socio-economic issues and the economic liberation, they really have a long way to go. But they need to stay in power so that they can correct and perfect and continue to move us forward. I really still believe that the ANC has the right policies. There's no DA, there's no EFF that has those policies. And you know what? I mean, every young person that has to vote for a government, they need to look at the policies. Policies are very important.
Right.
People talk a lot. They stand in platforms. I know for a fact some of our politicians have stood in platforms and told us, okay, vote for us for this, that. You vote for them in the local municipalities. Then they go and partner with the same white people that we're trying to remove power from. Then, there's a confusion because they don't have a policy guideline. So sometimes when you risk on a person just because the person is a populist or, these people are speaking the right language, but they don't have a policy guideline, it's a problem, because then it will be a trial and error. It will end up being worse than where you come from. So
Right.
for me, the policy principle is what makes me, or rather informs my vote. And I
Right.
think for many young people, that's what they need to look at, because the policy principle, if they want to change a government or they want to force government to do something, let them change policies instead of changing individuals.
Right.
The policy, challenge the policy, make sure that the policies are in place, make sure the constitution accommodates everyone, because those are the fundamental issues that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, and I think, this is also a challenge in everywhere. But I like the fact that you say we need to support the governments that lead us, because we're the ones who put them there in the first
Yes.
place. So, you can't say on one hand, let's put them there and let's fight them, because it causes problems and misleads the youth. So when we come back, we'll wrap up with Uyanda. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. We're here with Uyanda, originally from South Africa, but she's a global citizen.
I'm definitely a global citizen, which includes being a Ugandan.
Yes, you're welcome. Uganda is a beautiful country. So, I'm going to ask you a question. We as Ugandans, we we want to tell our story. You know, of course, we have to tell that story the way, in the way in which we perceive ourselves. But if you were to advise us as a global citizen, as somebody who's been and had a career with mass media, and of course as an entrepreneur, we must have done a good job, because now you want to buy a house or buy land in Uganda and build a house. So we must have had a decent impression on what in your view should be the modality by which we export brand Uganda.
Firstly, when I sat on the board of Gauteng Film Commission, I deputized a lady, which maybe some of you would know. Her name is Irene Chendi. She's actually one of the top women on the Forbes list of Africa.
So she's up there with you?
MTN, no, I'm not there yet. I'm working towards her.
Yes.
We used to sell our country as not only as a tourist destination, but as a film destination.
Yes.
So what happens is that films around the world, be it Bollywood, Hollywood, or whatever, you know, they always want to, like if you're filming inside a building, it's cheaper to film in Africa than it is to film anywhere in the world. From a skills base, from a technical base, and so many other aspects.
Yes.
So Uganda needs to package itself, not just as a tourist destination that comes see gorillas, but also to show the different pockets of business interests so that you can grow your economy and find a diverse way of growing the economy.
Yes.
You know, so that the top of the mind awareness around Uganda is not that that's a country with a strong military presence, but all these nice aspects. I mean, you know, if you look at the lake, there's boats there. So if there's a boat scene, someone could film the boat scene here.
Or water sports, or
you know, or
maybe,
whatever, water sports, or whatever the case might be. So you need to find economic interventions around tourism that talks to other aspects than just someone visiting, but coming through as a business interest to do something that they can take away, which is economically viable, you know, having the right skill. So I'm not sure if Uganda is packaging the arts and film and motion sector in a way that more young people are involved, because that's the area where young people really enjoy themselves. I mean, if you look at social media, everybody uses their phone, you know, so we need to find a way of allowing people to tell their stories. So, you know, for me, that's the intervention that I think is important. And if more Ugandan are telling their own individual stories and is packaged and sent to the world, it tells a nice story about activities and economic activities that are happening in the country.
Yeah, I think we're still in the early days. I think now there's the birth of an understanding by the leaders that the entertainment industry is something that the youth can speak through. We've recently had the Uganda Film Festival, where we had different categories of awards, which is now in its 6th year. And that's run by the Uganda Communications Commission. There's some beautiful programs. On this show, actually, a few weeks ago, we had Nisha Kalema, who has done a movie called Veronica's Wish, which you must watch. I must send you the Vimeo. If she gives me permission, I'll send you the Vimeo link. You know, hopefully it comes to South Africa as well. We have 27 Guns, which was released last year, which is a biopic about the Ugandan struggle, the military struggle. And I think, you know, there's been different productions that have come through. But as I think the core here is to set Uganda as a filming destination. But we, of course, that has to go hand in hand with the legislators, because for tax reasons, Uganda might not be that attractive, because South Africa gives beautiful tax incentives to people coming to make movies in South Africa. And of course, our tourism in South Africa is known for many things. It's known for film, it's known for sport, as a sporting destination. You had the World Cup there a few years ago. It's known as
both the rugby and the soccer
even for
and
wine.
Cricket.
You know, when you think about things like wine, you know,
Wine, diamonds.
What do you call that whole? They have a name for it.
Stellenbosch.
Then there's that tour through South Africa where you go on the blue train or whatever it may be. So you have that whole beautiful setting. So I think that's what we have to do as Uganda, to try and package and make this country more beautiful. But I think most importantly, it's when people like Uyanda come to Uganda and take Uganda in their heart back to wherever they come from, that makes Uganda beautiful. And
Indeed.
we hope at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, which is basically owns this show, the Cedric Live show, that you can come and advise us, work with us, and share some of your experiences with us, so we can make what we have better.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you for bringing me to Uganda.
Yes.
And I'm having a good time, but I feel there's so much to see and so little time.
Yes.
But this is just the first step. I told you I need land here.
Yes.
So even if I'm building, it will take some time, so which means I'll be coming to Uganda more often.
And please do call upon us when you come to Uganda. And we'll be happy to do the bit of the hosting that we can.
I also love the style awards in Uganda. They've actually made a mark around different African countries.
I think that's the A. Brands Award.
Because I see a lot of South African designers going to show there. So Uganda needs to preserve and support and really put it out there, because it does bring a lot of Africans together.
Entertainment in Uganda, we just need to channel it to make it lucrative. But we love a party. We really love a party. We can do it 365 days a year. Monday to Monday, we don't have any problem, which is a good ingredient, but it has to be structured properly so that it can start to generate income. If this is going to be the entertainment city of Africa, so be it.
Yes.
But listen, before we go, I'd like you to tell us and tell these young people in Uganda. We're 42 million people in Uganda, and like you said, 70 to 75% are under 30 years of age.
Wow.
So we're really young population. Even the guys on my crew here, I think most of
Everyone is young.
Yeah, they're so young. They're so young.
Okay, there's someone who says they're not young, but he looks even younger than the rest. So
Yeah,
I guess
no,
young people
they're all young. They're all young. Yes, they're all young. Maybe one or two might be a bit old, but when they say old, they might be saying like 32 or 33.
Exactly. He just doesn't want to be 16.
Yeah. So before you go, Uyanda, just a word of advice to the young people in Uganda.
I think for me, young people need to know that right now is their time, and whatever decisions that they make are going to impact on their future. I always said that for me, everything needs to be black and white. If people don't have the right policies, the right constitution, those are the things that you need to challenge. Because you need not worry about you being the young person today, you need to worry about your children's children. And if you change policies and constitutions, and you contribute to governments that are actually in action at the moment to make sure that more young people benefit, and you force meetings with government, and you demand that government listen to you, and hopefully government also listens to the young people, and together the young people and government can really change Uganda and take Uganda to the next level.
Uyanda, first of all, I'm honored to have you on the show. You're a great inspiration, I'm sure, to many South Africans, to many Africans, and many people around the world. And I hope that your show, my show, will make a difference in someone's life.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for coming on my show, and I hope we'll have you back again. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. I love you, Uganda.